Welcome back to the Global Business Report. Small and medium-scale enterprises, or SMEs, are no doubt essential for accelerating economic growth in Nigeria. According to reports, SMEs constitute about 90% of all the businesses in Nigeria, creating more than 80% of employment in the region. Supporting SMEs in Nigeria to flourish is crucial because it creates a growing middle class with a disposable income in relation to market opportunities for new investors. Joining me in the studio to discuss the impact of SMEs on the economy is Ouwakemi Ann-Melody Areola, CEO, Vivacity PR, Special Assistant to the Minister of Communications and an SME analyst. All right, Ouwakemi, it's good to have you and good morning.
Good morning, sir.
All right, you've heard the intro there. How strategic are SMEs to Nigerian economy, you think? They offer 90% of business in Nigeria,
Yes.
and they also, offer like 80% in terms of employment for that segment. So what are your thoughts?
Oh, SMEs are very, very critical to the development of Nigeria. They actually contribute about 48% to the GDP at the moment. And, just as you said, they constitute about 84% of the Nigerian workforce. A lot of them actually being the micro side of the enterprises. So you're looking at farmers, looking at people that have less than 9 employees.
Yeah.
So it's a sector that a lot of people are going into due to probably unemployment, XYZ. A lot of people tend to take this particular avenue. Just like me myself, I actually did my undergrad and all the rest, but woke up at a particular point in time and decided the best way for me was to set up my own business. So I went down that particular route, and I believe a lot of people are also doing the same thing.
Yeah, still talking about your own perspective here. How does advertising come in within the context of SMEs? What has been your own experience?
Well, personally, what I've seen is that a lot of SMEs don't leverage advertising as much as they can. They tend to believe it's expensive. They tend to believe it's not for their particular market. But I tend to disagree with that because there's advertising for every market. It depends on your demographics of who you're trying to pitch to, where they are, what exactly is your product or service. Once you can identify that, then you can identify what's the best means of advertising. And it might actually cost you next to nothing.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to people, who are thinking along that line, but don't actually know how to go into it?
Along the line of getting into starting up their own MSME?
Yes, within the context of advertising as well.
Within the context of advertising. Okay. Well, first and foremost, the government has provided a lot of services for MSME. So I would advise they get in touch with the MSME clinics. There's a number of agencies that are working with them. So, for instance, your company registration, your tax, your different types of documents that you need, they're all under the MSME clinic. So that is in place to help structure whatever it is you want to do, first and foremost. So you need to, first of all, understand the legal issues behind whatever it is you're doing before you start advertising, because there are actually some types of businesses that you're not actually allowed to advertise. So you need to understand that, first of all. Then you understand what is your niche market. You understand what are your demographics. And once you've got that, then you'll figure out, okay, this is exactly how I want to start my marketing.
Yeah.
Then you can contact a company like mine. We can assist, of course. But then, where I'm kind of at the moment is that we're concentrating so much locally, but we're not sort of concentrating on our global impact as well.
Right.
There's so much that we can do. You can be domiciled here in Nigeria and be servicing companies in other countries.
Yeah.
So you need to understand how to export, not just products, because we're so concerned about products as well, but no one's really looking at the exportation of services. So you need to understand how can you market your services to happy-go-lucky Joe Blogs down the road, and as well as, Mike Jogs, in America, or because I've looked at a lot of websites that are developed here in Nigeria, and if you do ask it, well, where was your website developed? It's in Asia or in America. But why are Nigerians not developing websites for companies in these particular countries?
Which brings me to the next question: just how attractive are SMEs in Nigeria to the international market? Just like you mentioned.
Very attractive. If you notice the Ankara thing now.
Well, I commended you on that.
Yes, thank you. But if you notice, there's a lot of people in other countries now wearing Ankara, and it's being sold in shop fronts for quite a few bob.
Right.
And we're not tapping into that. So if our outfits are being sold internationally for a whooping sum of money, why are we not the ones, cashing in on that amount of money? And it's simply because we're not projecting ourselves properly. We need to project. Nigeria globally sometimes, I was researching this thing in marketing recently, and it just shows that a lot of what is shared on social media is due to personal sentiment.
All right.
So when you see people sharing certain things, it's because it resonates with their own thinking at some particular stage. So we need to sort of tap into people's thinking, tap into people's emotions. Why would somebody outside Nigeria want to wear Ankara? Why would somebody outside Nigeria want you to develop their website for them? You need to pick up on your particular unique selling points and project them. Look for platforms where you can project them.
Yeah. Very good. But, it is said of, despite the fact that there are prospects there are also challenges as well. And it is said that lack of managerial skills, finance and innovations are also part of these issues. What do you make of that?
Innovations? No. We have so much going on when it comes to innovations.
All right.
But of course, finance. But because of that, we do have, you've got the Bank of Agriculture, you've got the Bank of Industry, you've got a lot of schemes that the federal government has set up to assist with this sort of funding. Because when you go to a commercial bank, yes, it is difficult when you don't have collateral. But there are a lot of schemes that are set up in order to help with these particular areas of financing. So what's most important is you visit the MSME clinics, you see what particular sort of financing is available for your particular type of business. And then as well, you need to get your documentation right. That's very, very key. You cannot walk into an institution and say, oh yeah, I sell cassava and I want a loan. How much cassava are you selling? Where are you, getting it from? How are you processing it?
So you've got to have a business plan.
Yes, all those things are very key. But we seem to overlook those plans and just say, I made 50,000 last week. I can make 100,000, but it doesn't work like that, So I think that's very key. That these challenges do exist, but there have been certain things that have been put in place to assist in being able to jump these particular hurdles. So you need to be informed. Most Nigerians will say there isn't a lot of innovation going on in Nigeria, but there is. But people don't get to know about it. I think that's the key in that particular area.
Yeah. In view of all of this, so how proactive is the government in creating that enabling environment? You mentioned the issue of registrations and the setting up of institutions for you to go to get registered and all that, but how would you assess that in terms of encouraging more people to get into the SME circle, as it were?
Oh, the government has been very proactive,
All right.
especially with setting up these MSME clinics,
Yeah.
which MSME clinics, to my knowledge, have been moving all around Nigeria, setting up different events in different states. So what they do is you come to a particular event, it's a one-stop shop for all services under the MSME clinics, so which is, as I said, the registration, the tax, the SMEs, the bank of this and bank of that, everything's available, right there. The problem with the general public is, well, I won't say the problem, but what could assist the general public is getting to know that these services exist. Getting to know that if you reach out to the MSME clinics with any problem you have in your business, even if it's an issue with writing your business plan, even if, whatever the issue is, reach out to the MSME clinics and they will assist you. So because the government has seen that there have been these bottlenecks and people have been having these issues. So hence this particular platform to ensure that, we're able to scale through that particular hurdle of these issues.
Very good. And still talking about platforms here, and we're seeing an emergence of tech startups, as it were, and technology in general. What are the prospects for advertising and public relations here?
The prospects for advertising and public relations in tech startups. Well, you know that there have been a lot of...
Of course, we're still talking about the SMEs.
Oh, yes, of course. They all follow the SMEs.
Indeed.
So you know that there have been a lot of events here and there, especially within Nigeria. I believe we have Asovilla Demo Day that takes place as well. And underneath that, which is the Information Technology Development Agency, they have a lot of events that they do as well for tech startups. There are a number of hubs, and the federal government is trying to set up more hubs, but they're actually currently working with private hubs as well. We have events where NITA facilitates a lot of our tech startups attending global events to be able to pitch on an international level. And we have been seen to win a few of these along the way. And this year, well, as the year continues, we are hoping to win a lot more.
Yeah. So talking about winning a lot more, I would like your input on branding. How does that contribute to SMEs? I know that's also part of your,
Yes.
portfolio as well.
Of course. Branding is essential for anything,
Yeah.
actually, I don't know if lately you've seen on, well, not lately, but on social media, there's a lot of cassava flakes, and it's our normal Gary that, we're buying per module or, however in the market. But it's the way it's packaged. It's the way it's presented. Personally, I would prefer to walk into a store to buy a packaged bag of Gary, because I believe it's preserved better. I believe, it's treated better, XYZ, TTQ. So that is key. The way you package anything, even as an individual, you're putting on a lovely outfit, a lovely pair of glasses. You're branding yourself properly, because this is the first perception I have of you. And my first perception is, well-dressed, clean gentleman. And that's the same for your brand. If you come up with a funny-looking logo, wishy-washy website, social media, you've got a lot of grammatical errors and XYZ, then that's what your brand is going to be known for. Your brand is going to be known as a wishy-washy brand because you have a wishy-washy logo. So it's very important you pay attention to all these particular things. What does your logo say? What does your brand say? What is your brand? What is your brand motto? What's your brand speak? What is what you're trying to get out there from your brand? All of that is very important. So first of all, even before you decide to put a brand out there, you need to first of all understand what is it that I'm putting out there. What does my brand stand for? And then you can even that's when you even start to come up with a company name. Because if you don't know what your brand stands for, and you don't know the mission, the aims and objectives, then you can't even begin to give your brand a name.
Very good. And, from all you said, definitely there's a gambit of things to consider regarding all of this, setting up. But, it's quite interesting when you see youthful people out there and just try to make things of their life, and they probably don't know how to go about it. But it's good we have, someone like you enlightening us and giving us all the tips, as it were. All right, Ouwakemi Ann-Melody Areola, CEO of Vivacity PR, and would like to thank you very much for your thoughts on these issues. Pleasure having you. Hope to have you again soon.
Definitely. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, you're welcome.